It's time to remove the mask and stop hiding behind the decent guy complex. As Christian men, we are called to surrender our lives to Jesus. To surrender to Jesus means to give in, not to give up. We are called to use our strengths, abilities, and opportunities to grow and prosper. We are called to strengthen ourselves, our families, and our communities. We are called to be disciplined, courageous, and honorable. This is Surrendered Strength. Men, welcome back to another episode of the Surrendered Strength podcast. I'm your host, Niall Lansing, and if you are watching this on YouTube, you'll notice the background is a little darker than usual. And to be honest, this episode is I'm doing this episode at 2:27 in the morning. Had a couple hour long text conversation with a gentleman who was just sharing some stuff with me, and in the conversation I was able to share some of my experiences and some of the breakthroughs that I've had. And as it's also November 1st, by the way, as I'm filming this, and as I start a new month, 30 days of working with Kyle Carnahan with Superhuman Fathers. And day one, the question is, what mask do you have to remove? And as I think about this, there's really only one mask that I don't think I've ever shared publicly. And it's been something that has really shaped who I've become, for sure. But it's like all pain that we go through, we can learn from it, we can grow, but we can also hide from it and pretend to be, the decent guy, the good guy, and pretend to have it all together. And I've done that for years. I've fooled people for years, and part of what has brought this up is the question was asked of the buddy that I was having a conversation with. He said, "Do you think I'm a decent guy?" And he followed up with, "Am I a decent guy?" He was asking me if I believed I was a decent guy. And the first question I responded with was, "Do you believe God is a good and loving God?" And he said, "Absolutely," which is good. And so I followed it up with, "I think you're like me. I think you're a sinner. I think that you have been chasing the world, chasing validation from the things of this world. And I think, like me, you're a weak and pathetic version of what God created us to be in his image. And like me, without Jesus, we will remain this way." But on the flip side, with Jesus, through surrender and walking by the Spirit, we can be men of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. And we can be men of strength, not of our own strength, but of God's strength. We can be men of wisdom, not of our own wisdom, God's wisdom. But we have to remove the mask. We have to stop hiding behind the idea of, yes, I'm a decent guy. Because by ourselves, no one is decent. There's no such thing as a good Christian. No Christian can be good because all Christians need God. All humans need God. So I've talked about a lot of my past in other episodes. And you know, in high school, I was pretty dialed in as an athlete, disciplined, not didn't go out to partying with friends or anything like that. It was, hey, school, practice, go home, do chores, go to bed. Like that was a lot of my life. Senior year, started dating and kind of got away from that a little bit, but not too much. And then I went to college, and and that's when I really started chasing validation and chasing the the approval of others. And that started with alcohol. Thankfully never turned into anything more than that, except for a hit of weed or two, but nothing more than that, thankfully. But it also led to just an adulterous life, trying to hook up with girls. I talked about that. Again, talked about the fact that thankfully I was terrible in terms of my game because I was so self-conscious and so worried about other people's perception that 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 held me back from doing a lot of things I could have done, both good and bad. So towards the end of college, got an OWI, went to jail, spent the night in jail for drinking and driving, and that was a turning point for me. And if you look back in your own life, you can look back and see all the times in your life where you're like, hey, this could be a turning point for you, or you could keep going down the same path. And that's exactly what I felt God was telling me the morning I walked out of the jail. He was saying, hey, I'm getting your attention. If you keep going down the path you're going, it's not going to look good. So I had an opportunity to pivoted, and started going down a path to make myself healthy physically. And that helped mentally and maybe a little spiritually also. But the reality is I was running. I was running from that truth, from God during those years. So college ended, went on, got some jobs, had some relationships, and I continued my adulterous life in those relationships. But then it got worse. And in one relationship in particular, there was a time where in the moment, I didn't think, oh, I had no intentions of what, what it turned into. But I got called out by the girl I was dating. This is before I was married, before I even met my wife. So I got called out for flirting with another girl via text messages. And again, at the time, I was like, we're just having a conversation. It's nothing. And well, that nothing turned into something later, and I ended up cheating on the girl I was dating, and that that was a devastating, devastating blow to the man I was telling myself and telling others that I was. And I absolutely went into hiding. I absolutely went into hiding and have been trying to suppress that ever since for over a decade now. And like I said, there's the things that we go through in life, we can use them as an opportunity to pivot, to turn, to surrender, to be something better, to use it as an opportunity to rise, to be elevated. But in order to do that, first we have to stop, and we have to surrender. And thankfully, that's what happened in in that or through that situation, through those events. God really got my attention, and I realized that yeah, I've been doing good physically, probably doing okay mentally, but not really, because I was still chasing validation from other people. But spiritually, I was broken. Spiritually, I was empty. I was lost. And it was through through that sin that that God got my attention and made me realize that yeah, I was lost. Yeah, I've been lying. I've been telling myself and telling others I was a good person, that I was, a Christian and wanted to imitate Jesus, but I was simply talking the talk. I wasn't actually walking the walk. And so it was shortly after that I surrendered fully, got baptized, and have been chasing this idea of fully surrendering and fully living to the will of the Father. And it started out good, but I easily got distracted and started to focus on things of this world again. And one of the things that took me forever and up until recently, and I know there's going to be more. There's going to be more surrendering to this. There's going to be more challenges in this, but is the fact of letting go of approval and being okay with people not being okay with me. And over the last year, there's been a lot of this. Me learning to be okay with people not accepting what I'm saying, people not accepting what I believe. And God's really been showing me and working in this for me. And it's been huge. It's been crucial. And biggest piece of that is simply being able to tell the truth. And yes, as Christians, we need to tell the truth in love or with love, but we have to tell the truth. And, you know, being fully vulnerable is is huge to building a relationship, not only with the people around you, but with God. We have to remove the mask. We have to break the idea that yes, I'm a decent guy. Yes, I'm a good guy because I follow most of the rules and I don't do any more major sins. I'm no longer cheating. I'm no longer committing adultery. We have to let go of that because we're still sinners. We still have our past. Yes, we've been saved, but God has called us to so much more than simply trying to not sin. In Galatians 5, it says, for freedom, you were set free. So don't go back to the sin. But even more than that, don't focus on that in terms of trying to avoid it. Obviously, don't go back to it, but stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about avoiding sin and start living in freedom. And the only way we can do this is, again, remove the mask. Stop hiding behind the lies you've been telling yourself for years. And I'm not coming to you with stones or as someone who is down the path or above you. I'm coming to you as someone who is on the journey, still walking with God through this and learning with God day by day, surrendering day by day, removing pieces of the mask day by day. So, man, I don't know what it is that you're still hiding. I don't know what it is that you are hiding behind or running from. For some of you, you're running from God. For some of you, you're running from your past life, or you're hiding your past life, or you're hiding yourself from God because you feel shame, you feel guilt, you feel fear of not being accepted. But man, you need to understand, like when you remove the mask, yes, there's going to be people who won't accept you. There's going to be people who will think that they're better than you, and that's okay. But you're also going to see that there are people that are going to connect with you at a much deeper level. You're going to be able to connect with God at a deeper level. You're going to be able to connect with your spouse at a deeper level, with your friends, your coworkers. And I know for a lot of you that's scary. To think that, oh, well, we're going to connect, or they're going to know who I am. But isn't that a beautiful thing? To be known, to be fully known, and to be fully connected with somebody, not even some people, but a group of people, to be fully known and yet still loved. No, this is our relationship with God. Fully known, yet we're still loved. And this is possible in our lives with people. I'm not saying you have to be fully known to everyone, but allow yourself to be known to the people that you love and that you trust. And it starts with removing the mask. So I don't know, again, I don't know what you're hiding from. And maybe you're not ready to share that with the people that really need to hear it, the people that you're closest to. Maybe you need to go to counseling and share with them first. Maybe you need to reach out to someone that you feel like you can trust. And I'll be honest, if that's me, I'd be honored to hear whatever story you got, whatever you're trying to hide from or run from. Because I've been there. I get it. I get the shame. I get the guilt. I get the pain. I get the fear. I get the doubt, the anxiety, and the worry. I've been there. So I don't know, again, I don't know what you got going on, but I know it's time to remove the mask, to start telling the truth, to start living in freedom and stop being a slave to the past, slave to the old you. So then I just encourage you, it's time. Can't make that decision for you, but I'm encouraging you to make that decision. And I get it, it's scary, but anything worthwhile, worth doing, is going to be challenging. It's going to be scary. It's going to be difficult. But the man you become on the other side of every challenge, every difficult situation, is a far better man. And you can look back in your own life, whether it's sports, whether it's military training, whether it's simply going at it with a friend, who you become on the other side of every challenge, every difficult situation, is a far better man. So, what are you going to do to remove the mask? What mask do you need to remove? If you are not willing and ready to share that with somebody, I would encourage you to write it down, journal it. I know. Guys hear that, oh, journaling, ew. Far better than you think. But you got to get it out somehow. Get it out, get it off your chest. And if the only person that you want to know is God, as He already knows, perfect. That's a great place to start. Because God already knows. He's just waiting for you to admit. He's just waiting for you to submit. He's waiting for you to surrender. And God doesn't have condemnation for you. All He has is love. He has mercy. He has grace. So don't think God's just waiting to punish you. He's waiting to embrace you with open arms. So stop running from him. Stop chasing the things of this world and run to him. He's waiting with open arms for you to remove your mask. The mask that he can already see through because he knows who you truly are. And he loves the man that he created you to be. But you have to surrender to be the man he created you to be. God bless. Thanks for listening. Connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Surrendered Strength. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and live the Surrendered Strength Code. Discipline, courage, honor.